Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and I'm not somebody that likes to push establishment politicians. However, I am somebody that will say, hey, this guy's done some pretty cool stuff. That doesn't mean I agree with all of his policies. I don't know what all of Louie Gohmere's policies are. But I'll tell you what, he has the distinguished honor of being the only video I've ever had locked out of every country, not pulled, locked out of every country and made non-public, right? Think about that. I think there's got to be close to 1,500 videos on this channel, and then no explanation why when I reviewed it. What was that video? Well, he dared to say Erica Caramello Barr's real name. Didn't say Erica Caramello Barr was a whistleblower, but that began and really continued, I wouldn't say began, but continued a trend of censorship on YouTube. That really began the trend of saying, hey, we don't care if this person's in Congress, or hey, we don't care if this person's in the Senate, or hey, we don't care if this is an official government hearing. We'll still pull the material, which they did. And now, Louie here, my man, if you didn't know, is back in action after catching the COVID-19. Now, he strongly opposed the mask. He's now saying he will wear a mask in certain situations where he has to, but he's also going to be giving plasma. Apparently, he's tested now negative for the virus and positive for the antibodies. And I'm going to be real careful when we talk about how he treated it. Because let me tell you something. Old Louie here, he didn't treat it with what WHO authoritative and approved by YouTube sources treated it with. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to read from an authoritative news source, right? He isn't authoritative medically, or neither are the doctors that actually prescribe him this stuff, right? Because doctors are being censored on this platform now. Politicians, doctors, anything they want. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to read it directly from the article and the headline. Before we get there, I want to remind everybody, we're fully demonetized on this platform now, running over 4 months, right? Over 4 months, no mas. And over 3 months ago, we tried to get this channel reviewed, and we're just happy to still be here. 56,000 strong. Thumbs the video up. Subscribe and share if you can. The GoFundMe link is down below. $5, $10, $15. Big donors. You mean the world to me. Guys, all my documentary films, they're free right now in the documentaries playlist section. Just want to point that out. And remember, thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. Support me on Rockfin. We've got the t-shirt store as well. And this is the one. This is probably pretty controversial after all the crazy things that have been happening the last couple days in these protests. But, oh well, let's get to it. This is as controversial as it gets. Louie Gohmere is COVID-19 free, and he credits hydroxychloroquine. Now, here's the thing. On top of the hydroxychloroquine, guys, guess what he did? Nebulized steroids, vitamin C, and vitamin D. You can go all the way back to my videos in March and April talking about vitamin C, vitamin D, okay? Also talking about what? The steroids in particular. And this is exactly what Louie has done. Let's read the exact quote, okay? Oh, I had a couple of bad days, but I started taking hydroxychloroquine. Oh no! Was he taking hydroxychloroquine? Well, every time I go over to Twitter, I wonder if it's on the side right now. Let's take it off. Does it say here that hydroxychloroquine is not a treatment? Yeah, they took it off, but usually that's in there somewhere. It's not an effective treatment for COVID. Okay? And by the way, guys, get ready because the spikes are going to be coming. Get ready for spikes. I'll tell you why in a moment. But let's go back to Louie here. Hydroxychloroquine, Zithromax, and zinc, along with vitamins D3 and C. And I took a steroid nebulizer for a few days to help coat the alveoli in my lungs and protect them somewhat from the COVID virus attack. I feel sorry for patients whose doctors are not even allowed to consider the hydroxychloroquine regimen. It's a real shame. A shame? A shame? Hey, again, I'm not an authoritative source. I'm not that guy. But I'll also tell you that Louie Gomer is not a young man. How old is Louie? We'll do it live. We'll do it live. And when he went at Peter Strzok during the Russiagate stuff, and then later in the Ukraine-gate stuff, he was on fire as well. Let's see. Where's the Wikipedia here? When was Mr. Gomer born? He is 66 years young. So he's even older than Andrew Capo Cuomo. Okay? So Louie, here, 66-year-old man, gets symptoms, takes what? Hydroxychloroquine, zinc, zithromax, C, and D3, and then a steroid nebulizer. Why is that not being told to people? I don't want to say pushed as a solution, because the WHO doesn't want to push it as a solution. But why is it that that's censored information? Do we think that Louie's lying about that? I'm sure he could produce his medical records. I'm sure his doctor would produce the prescription he gave him. What is going on in this wacky world? I mean, that's something we really need to start asking, guys. And again, as we're censoring more and more and more information, I need people to understand that this is not just going to go away on its own. It's going to take us going into the streets now and pointing these things out. The lockdowns are about to get worse. And why do I mean they're about to get worse? Okay. So now you have, again, a member of the House of Representatives who's gotten this, had symptoms, is treated as okay. All right, what is being pushed in the fear media? Oh, Georgia let schools go back to regular, and they couldn't enforce social distancing, and they couldn't enforce masks. Right? It's a disaster. Look at all the spikes. How many were symptomatic? Okay, how many were symptomatic? And how many will end up being hospitalized? How many at all would lose school? What do I mean lose school? Okay, symptomatic where? These guidelines are now things like diarrhea, a cough, a sore throat. I don't know about you guys, but I cough once in a while. I've coughed on the show. Am I to be quarantined because of an invisible virus that a 66-year-old man easily treated with treatments that, guess what, aren't that expensive? I mean, what's going on in this world? So what's going to happen is you're going to have these spikes of outbreaks at universities that opened up, putting more fear in, and that we can't endanger the children, right? And it's going to be interesting. For instance, guys, a lot of people have been mad at me saying, you want the post office to shut down and be defunded? Not in the way you think. I'm saying, listen, at this point, if we need to defund them in order to stop election fraud for a little while, yes, I am for that. I am so for that. Guys, if you think that we would not have massive election fraud, and I'm talking massive election fraud, with just mail-in voting, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Like, again, these are not absentee ballots. These are not Christmas cards. They're not just postcards. They're not just some bill you get in the mail or a statement you get in the mail. This is something that's actually important. You know, somebody pointed out, well, you can make these drive-through test centers. Why can't you make drive-through voting centers? I mean, because they don't want to, because it's all a LARP at this point. Disease is very real. Again, but is it one thing? It doesn't seem to be. Again, you look at what happened in China. You look at what happened in Iran. Even what happened in parts of Italy. I don't know that it mutated. It could have been a different strain altogether. Everything seems seeded. The facts were never the facts, according to Andrew Capo Cuomo, right? Mr. Meatball. I'm just saying, guys, And here we are, instead of, progressing and actually opening up in the middle of August, it's almost towards the end of August, we're progressing to more and more of a lockdown as a farce of an election is taking place with a senile old man and an authoritarian by his side cackling away at a system that they want to put into place. You think the contact tracing is just for COVID 1984? Oh, no. Old Joey B's already told you. Think about this. If you, in 2019, at any point, had said, okay, well, here's the deal. The Democratic Party, whoever it is, for the president or the vice president, are going to run on a ticket where they're going to enforce a 90-day, and that's after they get in January, a 90-day mask mandate nationwide. Even some of the hardcore Democrats would look at you and go, "What? Wait, what? I'll have to do what?" I mean, you'd have to be pretty hardcore Trump derangement syndrome to say, yeah, okay, wear a mask for 3 months? Sure. Oh, no guarantee you take it off after? Oh, mandatory vaccinations? You betcha. Oh, boy. Guys, thumbs the video up, subscribe, share, join the Burmist Brigade. Let's get to 60,000 strong. I'd love to make that a real thing. Let's get to 60K. Remember, you can support me on Rockfin. You can also just follow me on Rockfin with a free account. If you do that, then just join us on Tuesdays at noon, and there's always a free video over there. I gotta add to the t-shirt shop, but this one I really like it because your life does matter. Your skin color, it doesn't to me. It shouldn't to anybody else. It's kind of ridiculous at this point, isn't it? Content of somebody's character, anybody? All the docs are free in the playlist section. And remember, I couldn't do it without you. $5, $10, $15, it means the world to me. Big donors. Thank you very much. Guys, I love you, and I'll see you on the flip side.